All right, let's just jump right in. AI tools are literally everywhere now, right? They all promise to make our lives a whole lot easier. But actually getting them to deliver on that promise, well, that's a whole other story.
You know the feeling. You ask for a brilliant marketing strategy or a deep dive on a complex subject, and what you get back is, well, it's just fluff. It's generic, vague, and pretty much useless. It's super frustrating, and you're left there thinking, is this thing even that smart? But here's the thing. What if the problem isn't the AI's intelligence at all? What if the problem is us? It's the quality of our instructions. This whole art of telling an AI what you want is called prompt engineering, and it is without a doubt the single biggest key to unlocking some absolutely incredible results. I mean, just look at this. The difference is absolutely night and day. A vague prompt like, tell me about automation and jobs, gets you a boring textbook answer. But just by adding a little direction, asking for both the positives and the negatives, you suddenly get a much more insightful, balanced analysis. It's a total game changer. So, why do so many of our prompts just fall flat? Well, to get better, we first have to really understand what we're doing wrong. Let's break down the most common mistakes that pretty much everyone makes. The biggest culprits are being way too vague and just assuming the AI can read your mind. We often forget to define the format we want, like give it to me in bullet points. Or we give up after the first try, not realizing that a good prompt is a back and forth process. If you rush it, you're just going to get rushed, mediocre results. Simple as that. This quote from dummies.com really gets to the heart of it. AIs don't understand things like we do. They don't get context or sarcasm or the hidden meaning behind your words. They are incredibly powerful pattern-matching machines that take everything you say literally. So if you don't give it the context, it has no way of knowing what's actually important to you. Okay, so now that we know the pitfalls, let's get to the good part, the solution. Building a really great prompt is the absolute foundation for getting great results. If you only remember one thing from this whole explainer, please make it this. Be specific. You have to give the AI clear boundaries and context. Instead of asking it a huge, broad question, you need to give it a focused, well-defined task. Let's look at this example. Write a product description. That's a bad prompt. It's way too open. But by specifying the product, the tone you want, the key features to highlight, you're not just asking a question anymore. You're basically giving the AI a creative brief. And the more details you pack in, the more targeted and useful the results will be. Now, for more complex stuff, you might want a more structured framework. One power user came up with this awesome 4-part scaffold. You start with the assignment, the core task. Then you provide any key quotes or data. After that, add your own notes or ideas. And finally, give it specific instructions on format, word count, and tone. This method turns a fuzzy idea into a precise blueprint for the AI. All right, so once you've mastered the basics of being clear and giving your prompts some structure, you can start using some of the more advanced techniques to get those truly professional-grade results. The best results rarely ever come from a single perfect prompt. It's much better to think of it as a conversation. This process of tweaking and testing is called iterative refinement. You start off a little broad, then you provide feedback to steer the AI step by step toward the perfect output. For those really, really big projects, don't even try to get everything in one go. You'll go crazy. Instead, use what's called chain of thought prompting. This just means breaking a big task down into a series of smaller, logical prompts. You guide the AI through it, making sure each part is right before moving on to the next. So here's what that looks like in practice, say for writing a blog post. First, you ask it for an outline. Boom, structure's done. Then a separate prompt to write just the intro with a specific witty tone. Then you have it draft each section one by one, and you finish with one final prompt to polish the whole thing. This workflow gives you total quality control at every single step. It's so much more powerful than a single command. Okay, now for the really fun part. Let's run through some quick, surprising, and frankly, kind of weird hacks that power users leverage to get even better responses. This is one of the most powerful tricks there is. Assign the AI a persona. Tell it who to be. Act as an expert historian, or you're a sarcastic Gen Z teenager. This instantly tailors its tone, its vocabulary, and its whole style to fit exactly what you need. I love this example from some MIT researchers. You tell the AI, You are an experienced wildlife biologist. Now explain my leaves change color to a classroom of kindergartners. The answer you get is going to be completely different and way more creative than if you just ask the simple question. The persona frames everything.
Now, for a really weird one, some people have actually found that promising the AI a tip, yeah, like $200 for a better solution, can actually lead to a higher quality response. It's a strange quirk of the training data, for sure. But hey, if it works, it works.
Okay, here are a few more quick fire tips. Use delimiters like triple dashes to separate different parts of your prompt. Be super clear about what you don't want. And finally, don't waste your time being polite. Phrases like please and thank you don't actually change the outcome, so just get straight to the point. So where is all of this heading? Is this a skill that's going to be around for a while, or is it just some temporary quirk of the technology we have today?
You hear this debate all the time now, right? Is prompt engineering as a job even going to exist in a few years? Especially as these AI models get so much better at just understanding what we mean. The whole conversation is shifting. While the specific magic words you use might become less important, the core skill is evolving. It's going from prompt engineering to what you might call problem formulation. It's less about finding the perfect phrase and more about being able to clearly define the focus, scope, and boundaries of the problem you want the AI to solve. And this is the really crucial takeaway. As AI gets more and more powerful, your ability to communicate your goals clearly and precisely becomes an even more valuable skill. Knowing how to effectively direct these tools is what's going to separate the casual users from the true innovators. So the real question isn't whether the AI is smart enough, it's whether we're being clear enough in our instructions. The next time you open up an AI tool, don't just ask it a question, give it a mission. So what problem will you solve?